everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the new movie, Till. Till is directed by Chinonye Chukwu, and this is her second film that she's directed. For those who don't know the story, the synopsis is as follows. Till is the true story of Mamie Till Mobley's relentless pursuit of justice for her 14-year-old son, Emmett Till, who was brutally lynched in 1955 while visiting his cousins in Mississippi. So without further ado, let's get into the 6 things that make a movie great. 1. The plot. The plot of this movie is the story of Emmett Till and his brutal lynching that took place in 1955. The movie starts out with a scene between Mamie and her son Emmett as they talk about his trip to go see his cousins in Mississippi. Mamie is super reluctant to let him go because it will have been the longest amount of time that he's ever been away from her. And she's hesitant as well because the racial atmosphere in Mississippi was a lot more harsh than Chicago, where they were from. What follows is the incredibly tragic but powerful story of Mamie Till pursuing justice for her son in every way that she can. Immediately after watching the movie, I did some research into the true story of Emmett Till, and it looks like Chukwu kept the integrity of the story throughout this film. The story that this movie tells is very impactful but very sad. So for me, plot gets a thumbs up. 2 is family friendliness. This movie is rated PG-13. It has very minimal profanity. There are some racial slurs that are used. There are some very intense and disturbing moments, and perhaps the most disturbing of all is seeing the dead body of Emmett Till. I appreciate the discretion that this movie showed in not showing the death of Emmett Till, and I don't think that that would have benefited this movie at all, and I think that Chukwu knew that. But the reason why the story of Emmett Till and Mamie is so powerful is because of what she chose to do, and one of the things that involved was showing the dead body of her son Emmett Till. And with that being said, you see the dead body of Emmett Till, and it is extremely disturbing, but that's the point. It's really hard to go through and critique or analyze a film like this, but the true story that this movie tells is definitely more for a mature audience, or for when you find it right to show your kids. But objectively, this is not a family-friendly movie, so family friendliness gets a thumbs down. 3 is acting and script. Danielle Deadwyler plays Mamie Till, and her performance was amazing. I can't even begin to imagine the pain that the real Mamie Till went through, but Danielle's performance was extremely convincing, and that made her portrayal of Mamie very authentic and real. And though we didn't get to see that much of the character of Emmett Till, Jalen Hall delivered an excellent performance. All the other actors and actresses did a great job. The tension and frustration and anger that you feel in the movie is a direct result of all of the acting performances combined, accompanied by an appropriate and strong script that told the story exactly like it was. So for me, acting and script get a thumbs up. 4 is character development. The only character that we really needed to see character development with, and we did, was with Mamie Till. Seeing her go from this mother who's just worried about her son to her fears being realized and come true, and the amount of dignity and grace and courage and class that she has to hold during this entire process speaks to the woman that Mamie was, and you feel that very deeply this entire film. And seeing Mamie keep her composure in the midst of some of the atmospheres that this movie puts you in makes you appreciate who she was even more. My initial thought is that I wanted more character development with Emmett, and then I realized that that's the point. And that feeling that part of his story is missing is because so much of his story was missing in the life that he didn't get to live. So for me, character development gets a thumbs up. 5 is visuals and CGI. I can't really think of a sequence that involved CGI, but the visuals in this movie were really well done. Like I said, there are some very disturbing moments, things that you see on screen, but after having done the research and seen the actual photo of the body, they did a really good job making it as realistic as they could compared to what people were actually seeing. I also like the way that they filmed the scenes. The moments when Mamie is by herself, missing her son, or the scenes where she is having to stay strong in the courtroom and the camera is just locked on her as she gives her testimony, or as she hears other testimonies being given. It all just added to the power that this story holds. So visuals and CGI get a thumbs up. And 6 is rewatchability. This movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, and it definitely feels quite a bit longer than that. But that's not a knock against this film, that's just how these kinds of stories are told. Objectively, the film is a bit on the slower side, but that's not what makes this movie hard to watch. The reality that this is what humanity was at some point, and the vivid portrayal of this true story is what made it hard to watch. So while I wouldn't find myself trying to watch this movie over and over again, I think it's a very important film to watch to understand the story of Emmett Till and to see the experience of Mamie Till and to remember the story because it is incredibly important that we do. So for me, rewatchability gets a 50-50. With all these areas considered, I have to give Till a 9 out of 10. This movie had incredible acting performances, was very well filmed, and it's an incredibly important story that I think was told with dignity. The story of Emmett Till is one that belongs up there with Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. and all of the other stories that led to where we are today. With movies like this, it's kind of hard to recommend whether or not you should go watch it in theaters. But regardless of what you do, I think the movie Till is definitely worth checking out in any platform that you decide. Thank you so much for watching. If you've seen Till, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. As always, I appreciate your love and support, and I'll catch you guys and gals in the next one.